Hello, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for being here with us. And my name is Ulrich. I'm the artistic director of the Serpentine Galleries. And before starting, I wanted to ask you all to give another very, very big round of applause for Tabitha Rezer. We are very grateful to Tabitha for this afternoon's amazing experience, and also very grateful to Tabitha for yesterday's amazing experience at the Serpentine Gallery in the context of the exhibition of the healer and artist Emma Kunz, for this amazing homage, Tabitha, you made to Emma. So thank you so, so much. It's my immense pleasure to welcome everybody to The Shape of a Circle in the Mind of a Fish with Plants, which is the third installment of this year-long festival and research project presented as part of the Serpentine's very long-term General Ecology project. Ecology has always been at the forefront of our work. At the Serpentine in 2014, we organized the Extinction Marathon, where we gathered artists, writers, scientists, filmmakers, choreographers, theorists, musicians to explore the complex topic of extinction together with our mentor, Gustav Metzger, who co-curated this marathon with us and reminded us of the urgency of the theme every day, and also reminded us that we should always continue to work on this theme. So very much like today, we created for this marathon a polyphony to address the timely and then in many ways even more urgent now topic of extinction. Just some days ago, another report heralds catastrophic situations, really. A UN global assessment reveals the threat to humanity as 1 million species are now at risk of extinction. While we were developing the Extinction Marathon, Gustav Metzger continued to reiterate, and I'm going to read this quote here by him because I think it's very relevant for now. Gustav's words: "We need to take a stand against the ongoing erasure of species, even where there is little chance of ultimate success. It is our privilege and our duty to be at the forefront of the struggle. While humanity has moved through extreme crises in the past, time and speed is of the essence." And of course, this idea of the urgency of the theme came already to the forefront in 2009 when we worked on a solo show with Gustav Metzger at the Serpentine and presented him as the pioneer of auto-creation and destruction in art, together, of course, with his piece, Mass Media, Today and Yesterday, where in the gallery we had thousands and thousands of newspapers stacked in a rectangular mass in the center of the gallery. And for the duration of the show, the visitors were invited to clip articles from the newspapers related to the theme of extinction and basically put them on the wall. So this became almost like basically a visualization of the theme and of the incredible omnipresence of the theme. Gustav said at the time also, "I want this work to be useful, to emphasize the dangerous environment in which we live, events of life and death that can lead to extinction." It was interesting to reread this quote today because, him talking about useful art resonates with what Tania Bruguera today calls arte utile. We then also discussed the theme with the philosopher Timothy Morton, who associated the term species and extinction with what he calls hyper-objects. We are aware of their presence, but we cannot see them, we cannot touch them, and so often we therefore simply ignore them. In order to turn this ignorance into what Morton describes as an ecological awareness, we need to realize that there is no single meta-language. Rather, this is a myth that is propagated by the rapid state of globalization that we find ourselves in. And this is, of course, not the first time the world faces globalization, but it is fueled by technology, certainly the most extreme form of globalization, the most violent form of globalization. And as Edouard Glissant said, this globalization will lead to two things. He said early on it will lead to extinction, to the disappearance of many things, the theme I discussed previously, but it will also lead to a counter-reaction which needs to be resisted, which is basically a counter-reaction involving new forms of refusal of global dialogue, new forms of nationalism, new forms of racism. So Glissant said we need to resist both. And to resist both, we need what he calls mondialité, basically a global dialogue which listens, a global dialogue which produces difference. Now, in terms of extinction and the theme of extinction, I was looking this morning at our program book, And I thought we should make a very special homage today to Susan Hiller, who passed away a few months ago, because Susan Hiller was one of the key protagonists alongside Gustav of the Extinction Marathon and presented there the last silent movie. I was watching this again this morning, and we hear there the recordings of extinct and endangered tongues and a stunning variety of sound waves seeking to trigger the neural responses of understanding and communication. It really is a very, very urgent, important document related to extinction and ecology today. So this in memory of the amazing, amazing Susan Hiller. In 2018, a few years after the marathon, we started the General Ecology project at the Serpentine. It's the Serpentine's long-term and ongoing project researching complexity, post-humanism, and also the environment and climate change. The shape of a circle in the mind of a fish, which is very central and integral part of the General Ecology project, is curated by Lucia Pietrojusti, curator of General Ecology and Life Programs, by writer and editor Philippa Ramos, by also the curators Holly Shuttleworth and Kostas Stasinopoulos. Please give them a very big round of applause. I also wanted to ask you all to give a very big round of applause to Lucia Pietrojusti for the amazing achievement of her Lithuanian pavilion in Venice. Now, this project has brought together so far over 2,000 people in spaces like the one we are in today, and over 14,000 people have listened to the Serpentine podcast on general ecology. So for those of you who have missed previous incarnations of this project, you can all listen to the podcast later on. The shape of a circle in the mind of a fish has also been inspired by several of the Serpentine's recent exhibitions we did. Ian Cheng's exhibition, Bob and Emissaries, in its exploration of animal, human, and artificial consciousness, language, and interspecies communication. Of course, also Pierre Wieck's Umwelt, as it's explored through these interior multitudes, swarming organism, symbiosis, entanglement. And of course, today connects particularly strongly to the exhibition Emma Kuhn's Visionary Drawings, and also the very recent Hitler-style power plants, bringing together scientists, anthropologists, artists, theologians around plant science, plant intelligence, communication with the vegetable world and also forms of mysticism and healing. And it will be a very incredible and also really deep day. And it's, I think, very, very important, this idea of listening. It's something which we already found out when we did the Manifesto Marathon, when we somehow came to the conclusion that the 20th century was very often about loud manifestos, and that the 21st century has to be about listening. So today has a lot to do with listening to plants, listening to animals, listening to the planet.